Welcome to NAT. My name is Paul Spanos, and today I've got with me Piero Delia. Piero Delia is a teacher, he is an artist on his own right, he's a musician, and his official title is he's a Northwestern Victorian Regional Music Coordinator.
Correct.
Okay, Piero, welcome.
Thank you, Paul.
Would you like to talk to us about yourself first and how you got involved into music? When did you first discover this talent in your life?
I suppose as a youngster, we all look for things to keep us occupied with. And for me, it was always picking up a stick, getting on a table, and pretending I was moving and singing to Elvis Presley, the Beatles. Okay. And I think coming from a European background, our families were always having parties. We always had the opportunities to sing and dance and perform. And I think by the time I was in primary school, I found a music teacher around the corner from my home. I heard him practicing with his family every week in his parents' garage. Yeah. And I picked up a guitar, and I might have been about 8 or 9 years of age. And I think after that, it just became an addiction. Everywhere I could take the guitar, I took it, to the point where we had a family get together. It was always Dad, he had the guitar in the boot, go and get the guitar. We had a few lessons, start singing. And then from there, the schools gave me opportunities to do things. And I just found that it was the thing that kept me focused, it kept me grounded, it gave me opportunities to do things that other students at my age couldn't do. Then when I was able to perform on television as contestants for performances like Young Talent Time,
yes,
enjoyed it, the opportunity of singing on TV, and then I just was addicted.
When was the time that you discovered you can be creative with the music? For example, to create something of your own.
I think it was basically when the school was running a talent competition, and they said, if anyone can sing their own song, that'd be fantastic. We created something very, very quickly, my friends and I, and we performed it, and the teachers went, wow, that's fantastic.
Okay.
And we won. And then I think after that, I just thought, well, this is not too bad. This is pretty easy. Just expressing ideas on paper, putting some simple melodies to it, and then realizing that it was very well received by the general public, and off we went.
You mentioned the guitar. The guitar is your main instrument, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay. And now coming into today's story, which is really exciting and very, very interesting story. You are a coordinator for Victorian schools in northern suburbs, western suburbs.
Correct.
Now, tell us about your idea. How did it come School of Rock? That's really exciting stuff.
Well, that's good. The School of Rock idea, which was created in 2004, was an idea to showcase students in a simple yet non-competitive forum with professional lighting, staging, sound equipment, and more importantly, in a non-competitive environment. So when we started in 2004, we had, from memory, about 29 schools and about an audience of about 500 students, parents, teachers, principals. Over the last 10 years, we've had in excess of, on any given year, up to 60 schools performing over 3 days. So we've had close to 17,500 students participate in School of Rock since its inception in 2004. Wow. So it's an amazing achievement, and it's a credit to the schools and parents and teachers who allowed this little School of Rock idea to grow and grow and grow.
Piero, very impressive statistics. Now we're going to watch the very first 9 years, some video clips of every year.
This
say, hey, yo. Wow, hey, yo, do you love it like that? Everybody, come on. Hey, yo, do you love it like that? Hey, yo, do you love it like that? Put your hands up, come on! Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Start praying. I still remember how it all changed. Tell me, everybody. My father said, don't you worry now. 1, 2, 3, hey, come on. Whoa, whoa, tell me now, hey, don't you worry now. She has got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. You guys rock. Welcome back. We continue our interview with Piero, who is the coordinator of all these schools for the School of Rock. Piero, how you put together and how is the perception from the parents and teachers and students, that's your community, how they have embraced that School of Rock?
Paul, the School of Rock now runs on its own.
Okay.
The parents know how important it is for the students to be engaged. Mm-hmm. The teachers know that the students need to have something to work towards too. Mm-hmm. Principals are delighted because their students have an amazing professional forum mm-hmm. to perform, sing and dance at. We have sponsors like JB Hi-Fi who relish on the scenario of having their equipment on stage being mm-hmm. performed on. Mm-hmm. So really the perception is it's a very important part of their son's or daughter's journey in the music and in entertainment world. Mm-hmm. So for me as a coordinator, I bring all this together because after 10 years of doing it, I know the formula, I know how to structure it, I know what is important to the students, and the teachers that have been doing it with me, and there are a number of schools that have been doing this program with me since its inception, mm-hmm. they now know what's at stake, they know how to best prepare their students.
Okay.
So on the day that the students perform, it is as good as it's going to be.
We're going to see a segment, the third segment today, mm-hmm. and it's going to be the highlights of just June 2014.
Correct.
And I have seen the list of the schools. You have about 43 schools.
Correct.
High schools, in also primary schools.
Correct.
Can they work together on that presentation? How does this work with that mix of ages?
That's a fantastic question, and that was the idea by putting both primary and secondary students together, because I wanted to ensure that primary schools had a really good idea of what was expected from them if they were to continue their music journey to high school, and also for high school students to understand what's actually being done at the grassroots levels.
Okay.
And for teachers who are involved in School of Rock, it becomes a professional development. Mm-hmm. They learn from each other, they pick up ideas, and there have been many instances where secondary school students have been invited to play at primary schools as a feature act. Mm-hmm. So it's a really important cooperative and collaboration between both primary and secondary, and it works beautifully.
And how do you solve the problem? I'm a shy person, I'm an artist, but I've got that expression, but I don't want to compete. I'm shy. How do you have a special selection criteria for the students?
No, and that's the good thing about this. It's not a competition. It was never designed to be competitive. It was always designed to give students who were both novices and somewhat professional that forum to say, come and do what you do best. Okay. And there will always be students that will want to be on stage. The minute on stage, a little bit hesitant and shy. However, when they see all the other students doing what they do, it lifts up their confidence. And by the time they're on stage and I've worded them up as the host and I've told them do your best and sing and dance to the best of your ability, all of a sudden you get all these children that want to do their best, and at the end of the day they come back and they say, when is this on again? I want to come back.
That means in this case, they don't have that sense of competition or embarrassment, but they've got all the encouragement to be part of it.
Correct.
But in the meantime, they're students that sort of inclined to be musicians one day, or they like music, I suppose.
And that's why they do the show, and that's why the teachers have been supporting this venture now for 10 years. They know what they get out of it. So I think it's an important part of children's education to be seen, to be heard, to aspire, to be confident, and I think the School of Rock does it very, very well.
Now, that is a music. It's not mathematics. It's not science. And and how do you think the benefit comes to the students who participate in that? What sort of benefits the students have being part of it?
Well, it's interesting. Last year I had the pleasure of going to a performance, and we had students who used to play at a primary school who are now at the end of their VCE, who are now turning to music as a professional career path.
There you go.
And as one student said to me, the School of Rock gave me that push. I followed it on. Now I'm performing in venues that I never thought I would have done had I not had the chance to be in a very professional arena such as the School of Rock. So it's very, very gratifying to know that we're having a lot of students who are successfully choosing career paths in the arts, who have had a taste of what performance is like, and now have an opportunity to put something back into the system that they prefer to do themselves.
There you go. That means they create their own story, isn't it?
Correct.
Within the School of Rock.
Correct.
And I can assume that that is part of their own making. They can see something later on, and they look back and they feel proud of what they have achieved.
Correct. And I think that's always been the exciting part of this. It's grown, and now that we've got really professional sponsors on board, professional technicians, lighting experts, we give them that arena where they can really see everything from start to stop, and then they can say, this is the path that I want to choose to continue in.
For you, you're an artist and musician, and you perform on your own right as well.
Correct.
But you can see the parents as well. What sort of feedback do you get from the parents? What sort of stories they tell you?
That's a fantastic question. The one that always comes back to mind are parents that said, our children were struggling. They were very upset about things that were going on in their life. They've written a song. You've allowed them to come here today as a solo artist. They're now performing their music, and as a parent, I'm sitting here watching them, and I'm crying for joy that my son or daughter has now had the opportunity to perform his or her song live to an unfamiliar audience. And all these other students, anywhere from 500 to 600 students, are clapping, cheering, and asking them for their autograph at the end of their performance.
Unbelievable.
So it's an amazing thing to see.
That means they can start be creative from the young age.
Correct.
So that is a lot more skills just playing a music,
correct,
isn't it?
Correct. And that's the joy that I have when people are writing their own material and then they say, we want to perform it. This is the right forum to perform it in.
And we do have the support from the education department as well?
Very much so. That's the joy of allowing me to run, act, facilitate this. They know that it's a professional performance. They know that the students are well looked after. They're in a very safe, secure environment. They know that their work is discovered by an unfamiliar audience, which is part of why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And more importantly, that the department sees that the arts is such an important part of the curriculum.
Okay.
And it allows children to showcase their work where maybe in other subjects they don't have that opportunity.
Excellent. In only a few seconds, what are we going to see in the last segment, June 2014?
This is just a little compilation of the highlights of some amazing students, solo artists and bands of this year's 2014 show.
Magnificent. Thank you for being with us.
It's an absolute pleasure.
And I think it's a good opportunity for a lot more people to find out about the School of Rock. And stay tuned for the third segment with the highlights of June 2014.
Don't swim, you'll drown. But don't everyone looks so perfect standing there in my American apparel underwear. And I know now that I'm so down.
Pass you by the house in mine. Don't know why I didn't come. I don't know why I didn't come. When I saw the breaking day, I wish that I could fly away. Celine keeps talking, all I know is Mama told me not to risk my life. She says, spread your wings, my little butterfly. Don't let what they say keep you up at night. And they can detain you, these wings are made to fly. It's not about money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Ain't about the cha-ching, cha-ching. Ain't about the bubbling, bubbling. Wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tag.
Take the price tag and take the cash back. Just give me 6 strings and a half stack. And you can keep the cars, leave me in the garage. And all I need are keys and guitars.
Crying over you, and I'm so sick of love songs, so tired of tears.
off the radio.
You can stay with me so it doesn't hurt. Oh, won't you
Stay with me, 'cause you're all
I need?
this ain't love, it's literacy. So darling, stay with me. It won't be long till we return. Happy, shut your eyes. There are no lies in this world. We call sleepless desert. This day of hurt, tomorrow will be free. That's not fine. I'm tired. Can we just sleep tonight? Turn away. It's just there's nothing left here to say.
Till the weekend comes, just so I can pop a bottle of your love. Take another shot, I'll never get enough. Come on and fill me up, fill me up.
Oh, can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, 'cause I need to know. You said I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. Tough luck, my friend, but the answer's still no. Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry her anyway. Marry that girl, marry her anyway. Marry that girl, you no matter what you say. Marry that girl, and we'll be a family. Why you gotta be so rude?
You guys rock.